Greetings and salutations, my lovelies. Bardic Kitty here, bringing you another art video. And so this is going to be the sketchbook tour for my daily drawings for the month of April. And at the end, I will do the sketch for the last day. And so, yeah. Alright, we saw most of what was in this sketchbook in the previous video. And, oh, I finished that one. If you saw the previous video, I don't think that was actually done yet. So that's my creepy black cat sitting in the darkness picture. Get to, here we go. Alright, so this should have been the last page that we saw last time. I've got another sketchbook under here, that's why it's not wanting to lay flat. Alright, so yeah, before I get any further into this, I do want to say I'm sorry for the lack of videos the past couple of weeks. Weekend before last, I had a convention, and I had everything recorded. I just needed to do the editing and the voiceover, and I got kind of stuck in commission work and con prep, and completely forgot about it until Saturday, and was like, oh, well, I'm at convention, I can't do anything about it now, I'll just post it next Thursday. And then I had done the editing, and I just needed to do the voiceover, and I forgot about it. Again, I'm sorry. It's been a really stressful month. There's a lot of stuff going on that I'm not going to get into, but basically I've had a really rough month. And it's clearing up. You know, everything's getting better. I'm working through what needs to be worked through, and the stuff that was out of my control has finally been dealt with. So yeah, so sorry again for complete lack of videos the past couple of weeks. Hopefully, moving forward, that will not happen again. But yeah, so here is April Daily Sketches. Oh, haha, it was not the last one. Here we go. So April Fool's Day, previously in, earlier in this sketchbook, I should have marked that one so I could show it to you, but I had done a Snake Senpai piece, and a lot of people really loved it. So this I brought back. It's Snake Senpai, the bad boy edition. He's got like the smirky grin and like the angry eyebrows, and he's still got one little sparkle, because he's not quite Bishonen, you know. He's not pretty. He's bad boy. Anyway, so that was just a really quick, goofy April 1st sketch. And then more of these. If you didn't see the previous video, I will try to remember to link it down below. This will be the third one now. And as mentioned in previous videos, some of these are like pose practice that I'm doing using images that I found online. And so some of these might be, I guess, technically copyrighted images, but I'm not doing this commercially or anything. This is just for my own personal practice and everything. And so this is one of those where I liked this pose and I wanted to see if I could replicate it just for my own personal, you know, curiosity. I changed up the outfit a little bit, like she's just wearing tights. She doesn't have like pants or whatever, and I didn't draw like the hair and everything, and you know, just getting in an idea of how to draw certain shapes so that if I wanted to do a similar pose, I would have at least some kind of frame of reference. That kind of thing. Anyway, so that was the last in this sketchbook. So that means I've already filled a sketchbook this year, which is amazing for me. I'm usually super slow at finishing sketchbooks. In fact, before I started this one for my daily drawings, the other sketchbook I had has been, I started it for Inktober 2016. So it is well over a year old at this point. And then look at this. Isn't this sketchbook awesome? It's like cast resin or whatever. It's really heavy and like kind of hard. You can kind of hear that. And it's got like the flames on the back. But I love this dragon. So precious. So precious. I love dragons. I don't really draw them very often, so maybe you wouldn't even be able to tell. And it's got this really nice little like front page here with like the marbling, and that's like, as you can, like I said, it's resin. It's very like plasticky and shiny on the inside. But anyway, so here's the rest of April's sketches. This one's slightly smaller, so it'll fit on frame just a little bit better. Little details in the eyes here. I'm not sure how well you can see that, but she's got like these really bloodshot eyes. Just tired and kind of blurry, and you know, it's been that kind of month, like I said. And then I hadn't gotten used to the new size, so it's like, oops, ran out of room. This is why you should block things out, guys, because I just kind of started drawing with the hand and filling it out. Yep. But I loved the facial expression on this. I just absolutely love that. I think that turned out really well, even though there's hardly anything on the page. More pose practice. And then some of these also, I may have mentioned I got, I think they're knockoffs, but I've got like the like kind of anime-ish model dolls now. They're like the Body Kun and Body Chan dolls, but I think, like I said, I think mine are a slightly cheaper version of them, but I still love them. So some of these from last month, and then a couple in here are going to be actually from those instead of images that I found online. And this one's just a cute little girl with like a "ooh" kind of expression, like, oh no, what's that up there? Pretty colors. Trying to be an artist and be creative and spread color throughout the world. Playing around with. I've been really digging the facial markings things lately. I'm not sure why, and occasionally playing just with like different numbers of eyes and like different eye shapes in regards to like the pupils being odd shapes. But and this was another one that's a revisit from an earlier drawing I had done. I'm going to pause this while I find it real quick. Alright, I found it. I had done this sketch back in February, early February. And amusingly enough, it's actually the same day. I did not plan that, guys. Like, I was just like, I want to draw a chibi. Let's draw a chibi Cyclops. I know, let's draw this really awesome Cyclops that I enjoyed drawing earlier. So that was February 9th. And then on April 9th, I drew her again. And I gave her a little chibi dress. And she's so cute. I've really loved doing the chibis lately. I think this one and the next one we're using pictures from Cinchi stock. If you're not familiar with her, she's awesome. They're awesome. I think it's mainly one person, but either way, they do really amazing stock with all kinds of different angles and poses, and they sometimes will work with other models who have different body types, which is amazing. Just in general though, they have a website, they have a DeviantArt account. If you just Google Cinchi stock, you'll find them. Absolutely recommend. Yeah, and she does a lot of the stuff in like these like kind of leotard bodysuits, so you get a pretty good idea of like the whole figure without like having nudes. And I personally appreciate that. Sorry for the sniffling. We're finally getting warm weather, and my allergies are deciding to like not work with me well. I think this was another one that I did from my yeah, these next two, because I've got the male and the female, so I tend to do them in pairs. So these ones were done from my little models, the little drawing dolls. I was playing with like a little multi-eyed demon boy thing. I had fun with this in that each type of eye, like each set of eyes or the single eye, they're all looking in different directions. I just found that like an amusing concept. He looks like super cross-eyed because of it though, and that amuses me. Playing with funky pupils again. If you can see that, I gave him like double diamond shaped pupils. Some of these were very quick just because, like I said, it's been a super rough month. Just kind of playing with something kind of, I guess you could call it tribal, but very like graphic and simplified, like eye shape. More horns. Fantasy portraits have been definitely a theme with these sketchbooks, and I think I'm discovering that I do really enjoy drawing those. And so I'll probably take some of these to completion with like, you know, scan them and either enlarge and print them, or maybe even do some digital work with some of them, because I do want to try to find an appreciation for digital art. It's something that I have done and I just have never felt good at and never felt comfortable with, and I don't know, like I want to be able to do it and appreciate it, but I just don't like it. I would much rather use, you know, my markers or sorry, would much rather use my markers, or, it used to be my colored pencils. I want to get back into using colored pencils and maybe even doing some acrylic paintings again. It has been literal years since I have painted anything. Acrylics. I've done a couple of watercolors. And this is my character Branwen. Yeah, she's a cool kind of an elf chick. She's specifically a race from, I think they were from Arcana Evolved. It was a tabletop RPG. I think that's where they came from. My GM was pulling from like 5 different sources though when he made that homebrew setting, so I can't be sure that that's where they're from. But they are completely like pale white skin and either completely white or raven black hair, and then their eyes are completely black, like a raven's or something like that. They're just completely black and kind of shiny, almost bug-like. So that's her, and she's got big boobs. She's always, every time I've drawn her, it's just been, yeah, I don't know why, like, yeah. Oh, I just smudged up her face. Look at that, guys. Don't poke at your drawings, guys. Don't poke your drawings. That is today's lesson. Do not poke your drawings. Anyway, another really awesome character that at the time I did not enjoy playing her because of the circumstances and the game that I was in, but since I have definitely created, like, I've done stuff in my head with this character and I've developed an enormous love for her. She's a giantess, so she's like 7 feet tall, maybe a couple inches over 7. She's short for a giant, and again, this is a giant from the Arcana Evolved system, like tabletop game, but with some homebrewing like details. But yeah, so she's like 7 and maybe a couple inches, and so she's kind of a runt for her race. But I love how like big and like awesome she is. But she's also super smart. She actually is really into like clockworks and kind of steampunky aesthetic kind of stuff, because she actually was she actually was raised alongside the son of a clock making family that were like known for their amazing clocks. So she's super into that kind of stuff. So she's actually supposed to have like tool belts and stuff, and maybe if I think about it, I'll like put a picture of like another thing that I've done of her, because I've done a colored pencil full body portrait of her before and it was amazing. More super quick, it's a bad month kind of drawing. She's just, I like her snarl. Like, that's actually like, I don't do a lot with really pushing expressions, so that was nice at least. Doodles, I did this. I'm volunteering time at the art shop downtown where I have my jewelry and some prints, and I managed to get there with my bag that had my sketchbooks and my markers and stuff, but I didn't have a pencil. So I just used one of the shop's pencil or ink pens, just like regular ballpoint biro ink pen, and I doodled this, and it kind of, what it reminds me of is like a strawberry with a butt chin. And then my husband said that to him it looks like it should be a character in a Katamari Damacy game, which I'm cool with, but they're fun games. Adorable little bat thing, and he's so cute. Again, just trying to do something different. I started out just with some shapes, and then I was like, I want to turn this into some kind of cute creature, and that's what I came up with. Inner demons. Yeah, I mean, basically, that's, inner demons. Another role-playing character, this is Annie. She's a satyr. She really likes to drink, and she's kind of a bard, I think. Like, they didn't really have classes in the game that I played her in, but, like, the skills and abilities I took were kind of supposed to be bard-like. So she would, like, pump up the rest of the party and make them more awesome by being there and like, performing and stuff. I need to name this chick, because I've decided I need to do something with her. Funny story, though. I was like, I want to draw something with wings. So I sat down to draw a fairy. Yep. I was like, I want to draw wings, so I'm going to draw a fairy. And instead I came out with a demony vampire, maybe succubus kind of character. Sometimes things just don't go as planned. Oh, I feel like this is already getting really long. I'm sorry, guys. This was another day where I ended up at the shop and just grabbed an ink pen. There's no, like, construction lines or anything in pencil on this, which I'm both impressed with myself and slightly annoyed, because this is one of the better portraits I've drawn, and it was just with ink pen. I'm just like, how did I do that today? It just, that doesn't usually happen. This was for like a little drawing prompt in a furry group I'm in, and it was like hearts, large ears, adorable, and cheetah. And so I did a fennec fox and bushy tail. So I did a fennec fox character because they'd have the big ears and the bushy tail. And then I kind of got lazy with it, and you can kind of see she's got all of these little heart shapes. They're supposed to be like cheetah spots, but I didn't put in like the details to actually make them look like that, so she just looks like she has hearts all over her body. Another drawing prompt from that was like bird with long tail. I forgot several of the prompt aspects because I got so focused into drawing the bird, because I draw birds even less than I draw most mammal kind of animals, and they're quite a bit different. So this is supposed to be based off of like a heron, and it was going to be like a phoenix, and it was supposed to look like it was like dripping lava and stuff, but I got the bird sketched out, and I didn't want to do anything to it to lose the detail I got for the bird. And it's got like this one really bright shiny green eye, and that's because green was one of the prompts, and my idea was that it was a phoenix. And since phoenixes and the spring season are both like cycles of rebirth, I thought it would be really cool to have a phoenix that has a spring green, like bright green eye. So that was my thought process. It didn't really come across, but I'm still really happy with the way the bird came out. And then, here's just a guy portrait. I don't draw guys very often. I'm not terribly happy with how far he ended up off the page, and I think there maybe should be a bit more head. But overall, like the face shape, and I like his nose. He's got kind of a funny nose. It makes me giggle. Alright, and that brings us to April 30th, which means that I'm going to start sketching here in just a second. And thank you guys very much for bearing with me. I'm going to start sketching, and we'll do like, a after the fact voiceover for the rest of this, and then you will have seen all of April 2018 for my daily drawings. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the video.
Alright, and so here I start the sketch. I went into this, as I usually do, with absolutely no real plan for where this was going to go. Basically, I just kind of played around with a few things, and as I had said earlier in the video, I've been enjoying doing a lot of like kind of fantasy portrait kind of things where I play with different numbers of eyes, and I've really been enjoying doing like different styles of ears, and I blame that on a friend of mine who recently had challenged me, I think either really late last year or towards the beginning, I think it was really late last year, yeah, to do a challenge where I designed like 20 different styles of fantasy ear, and that's got me thinking a lot more about that kind of thing and like the different shapes and stuff that you can give. Sorry, by the way, for my head getting in shot. I seem to do that a lot. Eventually, I will get better at staying out of frame. And then I just kind of sat there and like actually paused the recording and just stared at that head for a while, and I had no idea where I was going with it. So it looked a little more masculine with me, especially with the shorter hair, and I don't draw a lot of guys, so I decided to give it a try. And so there you go. You've got just a shirtless, multi-eyed, kind of elfy random guy with tattoos, because I've been enjoying, like, usually it's just on the portraits and I do like facial markings and stuff, but since more of his body was on there, I was like, let's just give him a bunch of tattoos. And I don't know, I'm always like really like awkward feeling when I start trying to draw tattoos on a character, because I'm like, I know these are supposed to have like meaning and stuff, and I don't have any tattoos, and I don't know too many people that do have a lot of tattoos. I mean, I know people who do, but like none of my like really close friends have more than maybe one or two that have very significant meaning to them. So I'm always like afraid that I'm going to do something with tattoos and it's gonna just look stupid. But anyway, here is the finished design. I just kind of went with something kind of tribal, sticking with similar shapes, and there you are. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching my video. It really does mean a lot to me. I love you all, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Day. I'm still going to be posting my Thursday video, so I will see you then. Bye bye.